Hello, everyone. This is Jessica. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes, but I started the webinar early so you can get in and get settled and to give us all an opportunity just to get set up. I'm going to mute my audio and my video. If you have any questions or any comments, pop them in the chat and I can answer those before the session starts. Welcome to the new folks that have just joined us. Josie, Steph, and I are all getting kind of set up and ready to go here. Just give us a few more minutes. Steph and Josie, could you both test that you're able to share your screen? Should have that ability. All right.
Is that
Steph,
working? That's
that
me.
works great. Yeah.
Awesome.
We are
Okay.
set. And Josie, you should be able to just do it and take over from Steph. I think that's how I had it set up. You're good? Okay, and I'm going to do the same just to make sure we all can do this. You guys are good? You can see it? All right. Well, we've got quite the crowd here today. I think that we can get started. Steph and Josie, are you guys ready? Excellent. Well, welcome everyone to a new session for you, but the culmination of a year-long project for those of us working at Yrl. We're so pleased to have you all here today. My name is Jessica Knock. I know everyone here on the list, and of course with me are Stephanie Farrow and Josie Wilson. We will be presenting an overview of the Yrl intranet for you today, and we can't wait to get going. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started. This session is being recorded. We want to be able to have our staff be able to watch this, and we've had a few requests from folks who won't be able to make it today, but wanted to watch the recording anyway. The other piece around this is that all of you should have received an invitation to view the intranet today. Some of you I know have just registered today, so if you haven't, pop it in the chat, and either Stephanie or I will go in the back end and provide you with an invitation link so that you can go in and see the intranet. This is a sneak peek, and of course we'll be rolling it out to all of the Yrl libraries here once you guys have all had a chance to have a look at it here today. So before we get started with what ultimately is going to be a show and tell of our intranet and some of the new tools and resources that we've popped into it, I wanted to just provide you with a little bit of background about why we developed this intranet. Many of you are likely used to going to the Yrl website to get access to certain documents, to training documents, links to training, etc. We have really grown our resources and our services in the past 2 years, and as a result, we outgrew the website as a place to sort of host all of this stuff. It just wasn't meeting our needs. And in fact, what a lot of us were doing at Yrl, we're sending each of you individually links to resources or things that we weren't able to share as widely as we had wanted to, and hence this intranet. It is hosted through our Office 365 subscription, which you are all a member of too. And what it is able to do is it allows us to bring all of our resources into one home. They all live in the Office 365 environment, and we can bring them all together into the intranet. So whether we are sharing an Excel spreadsheet with you, instructions for how to run a report, a form such as the incident reporting form we're going to be able to show, we're going to show you a little bit later on in the session. It's all here in one environment. And I'm watching the chat here, and I see a few folks that say they can't find an invitation or they haven't gotten an invitation. We'll work through them quickly. Once Steph takes over talking, I'll come in and do it. And if you can't get it, we will get you to it. We'll be showing this intranet during it. So if you really can't access it today, just sit back, relax, and watch it, and we'll make sure that you have access to it. Carla, Michael, Jill, and Vicki, you all should have received invitations in your emails. I'm watching the chat. So with that bit of introduction, I'm going to turn things over to Stephanie, who is going to provide you with some more information about how to access the intranet, an overview, and some general navigation tools.
All right, so you can I'm hoping you can see my screens. Feel free to throw in the chat if you can't. You should be seeing the intranet. And so as Jessica mentioned, the invitations were sent to you, and it's there. It's for if you have the Microsoft account through Yrl, you'll be receiving an invitation to the demonstration. Again, if you registered last minute, we'll get those out soon. Now, if you don't have a Microsoft account through Yrl, you we just appreciate your patience because we're still trying to sort out sharing with people outside of our external network. It's possible, but Microsoft makes it a little bit tricky. So we're still ironing out the kinks in that. So feel free to just sit back and enjoy the demonstration. The link that you have will take you to here, to this page. You'll need to be logged in to your Microsoft account. And the number one thing that I recommend you do when you get here is up on the top right-hand side, click this little star button. You want to follow us. Now, of course, you can bookmark this page. It's all fine and good, but following makes it bookmark kind of in your apps. So what I mean by apps is when you're logged into Outlook.com, so through a web browser, so say you're checking your email, and you'll always notice this little apps button on the side here. So here I can get to my Outlook, I can get to my Word, but if I click on SharePoint, what it does is it adds this to my sites. And if you do this now and you kind of check, it may not do this automatically. There is a little bit of time. But it'll come here. So you don't necessarily, you can be on another computer and you're like, oh, I know this is on the SharePoint. So you simply log into your Outlook account, click on SharePoint, and then it'll easily direct you to your following sites. So which is this Yrl intranet. So now that you're here, let's have a look around at the navigation. At the top menu, you have our little logo here, and then the intranet menu. So these are all of the sections that we've created for the intranet. They're kind of the big catch points of all the information and the resources that we are sharing with you. And I'll be going over some, just kind of touching a few of them, and Josie and Jessica will also be doing that as well. This What's Up Yrl, what is that, you're wondering, I bet? Well, Jessica will talk to that in a few minutes. So you can access the different sections through the top, or you can kind of just scroll down. So here we have our featured items. These are the new and notable services, resources, training, and opportunities. So for instance, you want to learn more about those new makerspace kits, just click on that and it'll come to the page with all of that information so that you can read more. To navigate back, just simply click your back button, or you can go back to the menu. Similarly, the Librarian's Guide to Homelessness course, that takes you to the Niche Academy, or that new course that's just been released. And the website training created all of the website materials, information for you to learn about updating your website, and that will take you to that spot. So it's just quick links to new features. This will change, regularly. Moving down, we have our list to services and resources. So again, these are those big catch areas: learning, library collections, library programming, and I'm going to talk about Polaris and Track, reports and statistics, and the website. So I'm just going to, before I jump into those, I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom. There's also advocacy, incident reporting, peer support, the PLC, information on FOIP and CASTLE legislation, and that What's Up Yrl. Now, lastly, at the bottom are some quick links to the newsletter. If you don't subscribe to the Yrl weekly newsletter, you can click on that and subscribe. Quick link to our Yrl website, to the listserv if you want to go into there, Facebook, Twitter, and if you needed to do a quick email, the link to the email is right there. So moving back up, I will quickly talk about Polaris and Track, reports and statistics, and the website. So basically, you click on your section that you want to get into, and this will show you all the information. Now, keep in mind we've aggregated a whole bunch of information, organized it as best we could, and sharing that out. So it's one spot for you to kind of access all of the training information, tips, tricks, all sorts of different things in here. So for Polaris and Track, we have your general training information on circulation holds, patron services, cataloging, inventory if you're doing an inventory with our machines, and notifications. So I'll go into notifications just to give you an idea of what this looks like. So This is just because I'm using a different account, but it would show that it shows the training information. So this will always be up to date. This is where it's going to be updated if there are any changes. So the training documentation, if you wanted to print that off, as well, because we have some Niche Academy tutorials on notifications, we have those quick links that will take you right there if you want to learn more. And we also have information on Track, Me Libraries, and the Alberta Library. So with Track, we're continuing to kind of build that section out and put in all we've got the Track operational guidelines, information on the app, some lost procedures. Again, building out, but this is where you're going to go just to find all that information. And then moving back to our menu here, reports and statistics. So this is another area that we manage. And so whether you're looking for information on canned reports, simply reports, annual report, or just grabbing those monthly usage statistics, which I'll just click in and show here, this takes you directly to access all of those files. Now in 2022, we're looking at kind of revamping these statistics. So it'll look a little bit differently, but it'll all be in the same place. It'll also be accessible on our website. The links will be there. This is one that sometimes things have to live in two places just for necessity, but this is where it is, easily accessible. And again, for simply reports, you know, we have, this is just a little bit of information, but it takes you into the various documentation that we have. And finally, for the website information, this is your website. So any information that will help you build out your website. So the training, we have the documentation as well, and which is also getting a bit of an overhaul as well as a link straight out to the Niche Academy courses. So we're really trying to make those connections for you so that you don't have to go into many different places to find that information. We were getting a lot of requests for more information about WUFU, which is the form building, as well as if you are using Library Help, the chat service, or you're just kind of curious about it. Those are two things that really integrate with our websites. So we have more information on them. So the Library Help is the documentation, best practices, a little bit of a preamble. With WUFU, there's videos to training and information. So you can feel free to, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to look at that later, you can just click on the little link there and save it for later. And so it'll save your items if you're really interested. Now, those are the three sections that I was talking about. So I'm going to, I guess, hand it off to Josie. If there's any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. I'll have a look, but I will stop my sharing. And Josie, you can start sharing.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to share in just a moment. It always takes a minute. And then, of course, somebody has to phone you when you don't have your phone on Do Not Disturb. So just give me 1 second here. Okay. Share screen. So we're really excited about this intranet in collections and resource sharing because we had a custom tool built in this intranet for us, and it is all around kit booking. So what we have, I'm going to start under library programming, and then I'm going to circle back to library collections. So for collections and resource sharing, we have, like I said, a custom app built for kit booking under library programming. So I'm going to click into library programming. Excuse me. And there's lots of different things in this section, and some of the things Jessica's going to go into more detail about, but I wanted to talk specifically about kit booking because that is historically and continues to be done by the resource sharing folks. So if you click into library programming and Yrl Programming Kits, or am I not in the right place? Here we go. Now my navigation is changing. Jessica, can you jump in? Am I in the right
I am. You're in the right place. Bear with us, folks. Josie, it's showing up on my screen. There you go.
Oh, now
You can
I have
refresh.
it here.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Sometimes you just have to refresh. The joys of doing things live. It's all good. Okay, so you have two kind of highlights here. So we have a new kit booking app, which will allow you to submit a form in order to book your kits. But before you submit that form, you can actually see which books are or which kits are booked when, and that's in our Yrl Programming Kit availability. So the first place, this would be the first place you may want to come to see, oh, is this kit even available as you're doing program planning and things like that? Because I know a lot of you do program planning many months in advance. So if you click here and open this up, you get a listing of all of our kit bookings. Now you may think, oh, well, why isn't this in a calendar? Or, oh, this is a lot of kit bookings because you have a lot of kits. Well, what we found was the best way to use this app in the most robust way for both you as the libraries and for us is actually to use filters along the side here. So these things are very similar. These filters, for those of you who use TrackPack, which I hope is all of you, you'll know that there are filters for your searches on the left side of the screen. This is very similar. It's just it shows up on the right side of the screen. So you can look specifically for the kit that you're looking for under kit name. And if you look, and let's say you want to book the circuitry kit. So if you click on circuitry and click apply, you're going to see all the bookings for the circuitry kit. So right now you can see that Millet Library has it booked for January. So you may not want to book that kit for January because it's not available. So you can make your decisions a little bit maybe more confidently by looking in this kit booking list. Now, if you can't see the name of the kit that you want to book in this kit name, you can search for it, but if it doesn't come up, I'm just going to clear everything and close out of this. That means that that kit is actually not even booked right now. So if you're looking through this list, or if you search, I'm trying to think of one, I think exotic pets may not have a booking. I can spell it properly. So it says no values that contain exotic pets. That means that we have no bookings currently for exotic pets. So then you can feel free to book that kit whenever you would like because we have no bookings for it. Now I'm just looking in the chat. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to just close this off. Now you can also, I'll expand this out so you can see this a little bit better. You can look at this for current bookings that you may have and look by your library. And I think this is something that we are really excited about because we often get libraries who will book kits throughout the year or book kits a little bit, in advance. And then staffing change may happen, or perhaps the staff is away, and then they're not sure because they don't have access to that staff's email. Well, you can hop on here and you can take a look at all of the kits that your library has booked and when you will be receiving them and when you have them booked until. So let's look at Seba Beach right now, and we'll apply that. So there's nothing right now for Seba Beach, and that's okay. I think that Seba has booked in the past, and so that's why they're showing up. So I know Devon has some booked. Here we go. So we can see Devon's. I'll move this back out. And so you can see here, this is in date order. So from soonest to furthest away. And the start date is when we will be sending you that kit. So that's the date that it will arrive on your van run. The end date is when we would please like the kit back, when we will be picking it up on your van run. And then we have the contact email, and we can add things, or there might be notes under the booking. So you can see right now that this dinosaur one has been shipped to them already, and we have confirmed these other bookings. Most likely these are the statuses that you will see. You might see a status of tentative, which shows up as orange if we haven't confirmed it yet. But normally when we get a request for a kit, with the form, which I'll show you next, we change it right away to confirmed. And if you know that, and changing it to confirmed, I should say, many of you who deal with kits may have already been receiving the automatic emails. The great thing about this kit booking app is that when we change these status messages, it generates emails out to whoever the contact is to let you know when the start date is, when the pickup date is, to send you a reminder. You'll get that from Polaris. I believe you get it from the kit booking app too. And then after everything, you'll get a kind of a follow-up email with an evaluation survey in the email too. So everything is kind of automatic, which is great for us. And we think great for you, because then we're not forgetting to ask you to fill out a survey, or we're not forgetting to let you know that your kit is due. So I see a question from Vicky, and she says, are kits renewable if there are no holds? Yes, so you can renew a kit if we don't have anybody else waiting for it, but it would be preferable that you give us kind of a week. You let us know a week ahead of time if you'd like to keep that kit. But you could also jump on here and see if there is a booking one right after another for the kits. I hope that answers your question, Vicky. Let's look at another couple of, we looked at the requested by, the contact email. So you can also filter by the contact email if you'd like. So for instance, if there's different folks from your library who are requesting kits, pretty sure that Drayton Valley may have some different folks. So we've got, a couple of different staff requesting kits from Drayton Valley. So you could also filter by your name or a staff name if you'd like to see that too. So the other thing to just keep in mind when we're looking at the bookings by kit name, to look at this kit here. Well, that's not a good example. I'm just trying to look at something that I know has back-to-back bookings. Oh, the physical literacy kit, because many of you jumped on that one after you saw it in the newsletter, which was great. So you can see that these are pretty back-to-back bookings, but you will notice that between the end date of one and the start date of another, there is a bit of lag time. That's because we usually don't send out a kit or get a kit back and send it out in the same week, because we have to do things like check over the kits, make sure that we can, get them on the right van run. And because of how our van run schedule goes, sometimes there's a 4 to 5 day lag between when we can get things out again. And usually that, kind of goes into the next week. It's 4 to 5 business days. So that's why you'll see a little bit of a lag. So you kind of have to read the dates down the columns here, kind of go across and then down, across and then down to see when the bookings are. And we usually like to leave ourselves a few business days between, like I said, the kits going out and coming back. And these are all things that you may not have known before that you will see now, because all of this information is there for you to see, which I think is really good. It's part of this kind of demystifying our processes, so you can see exactly kind of how our processes work. So that is the filtering and how the kit booking availability part of this app works. Now, I think of this as kind of a two-part system, this whole app. So the availability is the first part, and then the form is the second part. So if there's no questions, I'm going to just go back and we'll look at the form. And I hope I'm not taking up too much time. I'll go quicker through the other stuff, because this is really the most important part of my section here. So the form is the next piece. So most of you who have used kits in the past will be used to emailing into kits@yrl.ab.ca when you have a kit, when you would like a kit. So you can still continue to do that. We will answer those emails just as we've always done. But if you would like to put in, if you see that a kit is available and you would like to get that request in right away, or if you would like to specify things in a little bit of a different manner, you can use this kit request form. So we're going to click into this. Now, this gives you a link back to the kit booking availability if you'd like. We do have a special note for school libraries that won't apply to, I don't know if we have any school libraries in here today, mostly public libraries. And then we just have this little form to go through. And this can be really helpful and to do because it can cut down on the emails back and forth between us and your staff, depending on what information is given. So in this, we're asking you for every piece of information we would need to know to get that kit booking done for you as quickly and efficiently as possible. So the first thing we ask you to do is choose your kit. So we've put our kits into different categories. Most of you will be familiar with these categories. So we have our Indigenous collection kits, Makerspace kit, Storytime, Storywalk, World Language, and Xbox. Now, if you need more information about what's in those specific kits, Jessica will go through kind of where that is on the intranet. And then you click down in and find the name of the kit that you would like. This is also helpful if you can't quite remember what the kit is called or what the title of it is, because you can just come and look at the list. So I'm going to do a Cricut. Once you fill that in, oh, and the Read Alberta kits are in here too. So once you choose that, you click on Next, and then you'll enter your library name. Let's do this for Barhead High School. The primary contact for requests, so I'm just going to go test. I'm going to put my email in here. And then your delivery date. So these are your preferred delivery dates. We say that, the kits are available for up to 3 weeks unless otherwise noted. Usually we try to do the kit bookings for 3 to 4 weeks, so kind of a month for each checkout. But we can do for longer or shorter, and you can specify that in your dates here. So let's do this kit from the 14th of December until January 12th. You'll also notice that I picked different days of the week in here. So preferably we ask that you pick your van run date. So I'm going to switch that to the 15th. That's helpful for us. We'll check it on our end, but really that's when we consider the date of your booking started is your van run date. So if you can pick your van run date, that's very helpful for us. And then if you have any special notes for your requests, so if you have questions, comments, anything, you can put those in there and that comes right to us. And you don't have to fill in this part if you don't have any special notes. So you click submit and then we get your kit booking. Now, the key to this little form is if you have more than one kit booking you want to make, you do have to fill out one form per booking. And you can see, if you remember how that kit booking app was on the availability, it had one line for each kit. But we have a little link here that says submit another response. So you can go back here and now submit another response. So unfortunately, you can't select, one Indigenous kit, one button maker. You can, but it's not going to work properly. And we'll be emailing you and saying, oh, which kit did you mean? And of course, most folks want kits for different periods of time, one a month, etc. So that's why we're saying one per form entry at a time. All right, I'm probably eating up all of the time because as Jessica and Stephanie know, I like to talk a lot. So I'll leave that there. If you have any questions about the kit booking app or the form, please email Ask Yrl, email kits@yrl.ab.ca, and of course, use these at your leisure. There's no pressure. We're not saying that you can't email us anymore. We're just giving you different options. And like I said, kind of making things more open and lifting the veil off our processes. You can see how things work and hopefully making things a bit easier for you. So the other piece that I wanted to just quickly highlight is the library collections. This is where you're going to find a lot of the collections and resource sharing information you may need. Things like supply pricing, resource sharing information, how to pack materials for van runs, a whole bunch of information on getting started with ordering, including training, processing flags, There's some information on e-resources, collection development. Now this, I'm going to just highlight this for cataloging because I thought this was fun when I was building this out yesterday. Is that for this page, I was really stumped about what to include on this. So I would like to ask you, what do you want to know? So I turned on the comments for this page and I've just asked you, what would you like to know about cataloging at Yrl? Leave a comment for us below and we will create a page that meets your needs. So let us know what you would like to know. I've given us 53 days or giving you 53 days to fill in these comments, but I thought this would be a nice interactive way of using this page. So now that my phone is ringing again, because I guess I didn't learn from the first time of not putting you on Do Not Disturb, I will pass this over to Jessica to continue on with. So thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you, Josie. All right, we're rounding the corner to the end, and I have a few additional items that I want to show you on the intranet, including one other new app that we've built out. So just bear with me while I share my screen. All right, you should be able to see it now. If you can't, just pop that into the chat and let me know. I'll open up the chat here. There we go. All right. So Library Development Services actually looks after, for lack of a better word, quite a few sections on this intranet. And I'm going to go through them, starting with the section called Learning. So lots of you are familiar with our live webinars, such as the one we're doing today, the self-paced training that we offer through Niche Academy, our conference. And traditionally, these have been housed in a few different places, and we try our best to get the word out consistently via the newsletter. We've now corralled it into this one big section called Learning, where you can hop in and have a look at all of the learning opportunities that are available to you. The one item that I do want to point out here to you today is the section called Onboarding. Those of you who are newer managers who have started your role as a manager or director since I started at Yrl in late 2019 would have been through the manager onboarding process. One of our major projects in 2020 was to develop a very robust onboarding program for managers to introduce them to all of the services that Yrl offers, as well as all of the tools. But I wanted to be able to make that available to all managers as a way to refresh their memories or to just make sure that they maybe didn't miss anything when they were onboarded. And so I've popped the manager onboarding information right in here. There's a full onboarding checklist, an onboarding guide through Niche Academy. I have a few more items to pop into here, including our history and services video and a checklist of the things that you should be discussing with myself or another consultant from the LDS department when you are new. We've done the same for library staff. One of the requests that we've gotten from managers is, how do I onboard my library staff? What are the types of things that I need to think about? So we get that the onboarding process for library staff varies widely from library to library, as it should, because you each have different processes and procedures for how you do things. But there is, a general list of things that needs to be covered, including the different Yrl tools and services. And we've popped this all into here and into what I would consider more of an inspiration guide for library staff. So you can cruise through here, have a look at the things that we suggest you include in the onboarding of your new staff, and build out your own onboarding list. So be sure to check that out if you are responsible for onboarding new staff at your library. I'll let you peruse the rest of the learning site on your own. And I'm going to hop back to the main page and have a look at the next section called Library Programming. So Josie's been in Library Programming already to show you the kit booking app. And I want to show you a couple of other features on here. The first is back in the Yrl Programming Kits are fairly substantial overviews of what is available in each and every one of our kits. So we had been doing our best to keep this up to date on our website. That that information will likely be pulled off of our website as we update the content available here in the intranet. You can hop into any of the kit categories. I'm going to click on Makerspace, where you can see a full list of contents, a resource list that includes how to use the kit and programming ideas, as well as a photo of each kit. So it's a great way to sort of browse and shop the new options. And as we add new kits or remove kits, we will be sure to highlight that on the main page of the intranet. The same goes with any of the other kits here. I'll click on one more, the Storytime kit, which outlines all of the Storytime kits. One of the things that we haven't yet announced, but I am happy to share with you today, is that we've conducted a complete refresh of all of our Storytime kits, meaning we've weeded out older books, older or no longer appropriate or suitable books, and added a whole bunch of brand new content to each and every one of these kits. So if you haven't used our Storytime kits in a while, I encourage you to take a look at them again, because there is fresh content in them. We played around with different ways to provide you with a detailed inventory of kits. It's nice to know if you've booked a kit, what the inventory of that kit is, or sometimes our libraries are looking for very specific puppets and want to borrow a puppet from a kit to use in a program or what have you. And so we've prepared a detailed inventory of our Storytime kits here. And it's really just an Excel spreadsheet loaded into here. And this is another great example of integration here. This Excel spreadsheet actually lives on the home drive of my team, and we're able to link right to it and add it for you to view on the intranet, meaning anytime we update this inventory, deleting books, adding new puppets, what you see is updated as well. And so you can go through here and have a look at the contents in the kit, the props that are available, etc. If you're looking for a skunk puppet or a beaver puppet or what have you, you can have a look for yourself to see what we actually own so that you can borrow those specific items. Just looking at the chat here. Oh, I missed the comment, Gloria, about manager onboarding. Yeah, it was a fairly substantial project, and I was so grateful to have it when I was onboarding new managers who have just recently started, but really wanted to make it available to everyone. So definitely check it out. I'm going to hop back to the intranet main page here. And if there's no other questions about learning, I'm going to hop on to the rest of my tour. I'm going to leave the incident reporting for last because that's where I'll have the most comments. I'm going to scroll right down to a section called peer support. For those of you who attended the last PLC meeting, Public Library Council, there was a discussion or request for Yrl to prepare a peer support program for library staff to be able to connect with library staff from other libraries within the region in order to hash out ideas, do some coaching with one another, etc. And so this is a project that is in the works. We will have a way for staff to sign up for this, in addition to training on how to provide peer support and coaching. In the meantime, it's got a spot on our intranet here so that you know that this project is coming soon, along with some additional links just to learn a little bit more about what peer support will look like or could look like. Hopping back to the main page, I've done a similar kind of not quite populated, but almost ready to go page for the Public Library Council. So the Public Library Council, of course, is an opportunity for managers and directors to get together, learn about Yrl resources, but also work with Yrl in the development of shared resources that are of use and benefit to the libraries within Yrl. One of the things that we haven't been able to efficiently do, just again due to file sharing, is share the meeting minutes, share documentation, mandate statements, so that you can learn a little bit more about the Public Library Council, when they meet, who sits on the executive, and how you can contribute to it. So the page is under construction. We're building it out right now. We're building out the content right now as we move it off of our private drives and into SharePoint. And this will be ready for all of our libraries in January 2022. For those of you with questions about FOIP and CASL, that's the anti-spam legislation, there is a page prepared for that as well, including links to training and library-specific guides about FOIP and CASL. And just as a heads up, for those of you who have questions about FOIP or anti-spam, I am the FOIP representative for Yrl and have had some additional training in it. And I know that some of the questions can be quite nuanced depending on the situation. So in addition to this guide, just letting you know that you're welcome to contact me directly with your FOIP or CASL questions as well. And I'll do my very best to work with you and your organization to resolve whatever questions that you have. What's up Yrl is something that we really wanted to integrate into. We really wanted to be able to integrate an opportunity for folks across the region just to chit chat and bounce ideas off of each other. And so what we have done, I'm getting a note that says my internet connection is unstable. So hopefully I'm not cutting out on you here. But what we've done here is we've integrated an app called Yammer that will allow you to, you and your staff to just chit chat with one another across Yrl. So if you're in here, you're going to see lots of our practice chit chat as we were learning how to use this. We've been able to give kudos to one another. We've been able to put quizzes in here, chat with one another. So we really encourage you to use this. We're not sure what the uptake is going to be on this. It's up to you and how you want to use it, but it's here as an option. The only caveat I would add is that we don't monitor this every day. And so if you do have a time-sensitive question, use your usual channel of Ask Yrl at yrl.ab.ca to consult with us. And a question that just came in to hosts and panelists is, what's up Yrl live right now? I can't see the same chats as your screen. Stephanie, would you be able to, Stephanie J, who asked the question, could you refresh your screen and see if it comes up? We were having this trouble this morning and we thought that we might have resolved it. Refresh and let me know what you see. And while you're doing that, I'm going to hop over to a few other sections here. We've got an advocacy page. We've actually been preparing advocacy resources for the libraries. And again, because it's kind of an odd document, it's been difficult to share except one-on-one when we're working with you. So here we are able to actually share our advocacy training and our advocacy documentation all on one page. The one that's highlighted on our main page is an advocacy presentation template prepared by Carla and the joint Yrl Parkland Regional Library Joint Advocacy Committee. It's an advocacy template that you can use, rebrand with your own branding, and use the content to advocate for your library to your council. All right. Stephanie just noted in the chat, if you're having trouble with what's up Yrl, we're going to troubleshoot that, and we do apologize for that. The final piece that I want to introduce here to you is another significant app that's new that we have added as a service and also to this intranet, and that is an incident reporting tool. So again, shared incident reporting has been a conversation we have had with library managers and directors at the PLC level. And as we move through some of the challenges that COVID has presented to us, with stressed out and struggling patrons who may present challenging behaviors for us, we've started to hear and learn that many of you are actually sharing customers who are presenting challenging behaviors. I just got a note from Stephanie saying I'm cutting in and out. So I'm actually going to mute my video, if you can just bear with me here. Hopefully that will work. And can I just confirm that you can still hear me? Someone can pop in the chat that you can hear me here. Awesome. Okay, thank you, everyone. We're sharing customers who are exhibiting the same challenging behavior from library to library, but because we don't always share that information via incident report or even just via chit chat, because we don't see each other, the idea of the incident report, shared incident report form was born. So building it was one thing, building some policies and procedures around it was another. So I'll talk to you a little bit about the tool itself. It is simply a form that we use through Office 365 that lives at Yrl headquarters. It's a form that can be implemented in a couple of different ways. You don't have to implement it at all. We recognize that some libraries have their own incident reporting systems that are very robust and are very helpful, and those libraries are not, of course, required to opt in any way, shape, or form. The second way that you could use it is just for your library only, which means we will implement this form and any data is only for managers, staff, and admin of that library to view. The third way that we can implement it is by sharing your data with libraries within the same general geographic region. So for example, maybe Hinton and Edson are sharing customers and they decide they want to share an incident report form so that they can watch for crossover. We can lock down the data in Hinton and Edson's forms so that only those two organizations can see it. And the final way to implement it, and what our original vision was that this data be shared right across Yrl so that everyone can see the incident report forms of what's going on. But we do definitely recognize that libraries have different needs, which is why we wanted to present these options to you. Another thing that has come up is FOIP and how we protect the privacy of those individuals who are sitting in our incident reporting forms when we are sharing incident reports from library to library. And so we've done quite a bit of work to explain the ins and outs of how those folks' privacy is protected in the FOIP FAQs. Bottom line, if someone has done something to violate the policy or the comfort levels of any library, they waive a certain right to privacy, and we are able to share that information. But there are full details for those of you who want to learn a little bit more in the FOIP FAQs. The link to the incident report form that I've provided here is more of a sample so that you can see what it looks like and the types of questions being asked. If you decide that you want to implement this for your library, let us know because we have a few steps that we would need to walk you and your staff through in order to get it ready and to secure your data in a way that meets your own library's needs. And finally, I have put a link up to very generalized incident report form results. If you were to click on here, you'd see a very broad strokes overview of the incident reports that are living in this incident report form right now. You'll see they're kind of goofy samples, but that is what that is. For those of you who opt into this, we do provide much more detailed reporting options so that you can view your data. All right, I'm going to stop my sharing here. And I'm going to turn on my video again. I apologize for cutting in and out, not sure what's going on there. I don't see any questions in the chat. But that actually concludes our presentation and our big kind of show and tell of this new tool. Couple of things. You all have received invitations to view this tool. We are now able to invite everyone within the Yrl sort of, what's the word, staff network? Within the Yrl network to view it. There's a couple of options for you to be able to share this with your staff. If your library are savvy users of Office 365, once they're invited, they will see the SharePoint site within their Office 365 site. The other option is for the manager or director of the library just to take the direct link and provide it to staff, either through your own intranet that you may have. I know some libraries have that. You can provide a link to it. Or just share the link via email so that folks can get in to see it. So a few different options. We're here to help in terms of getting you best possible access for your library and your library's needs. So please do get in touch. You will start to see over the next couple months some information that you may have been used to seeing on our website pulled as we start to use this intranet more and more to share our information with our libraries. That's down the road, but because we do want to get you used to using this intranet first. As you've seen us experience today, there's going to be glitches and kinks as we work out the content of it, and also work out we're still learning how to use SharePoint in a way. So if you see content mistakes, or if something's not working quite right for you, let us know and we will troubleshoot it. Just looking at the contents here, the comments here, it looks great. I can't wait to use. Thank you. Some of you want connections, so we'll get that worked out for you. Will this replace your end share drive? Absolutely not. No. It's a separate piece for sure. Any other questions? All right. Well, we invite you all to share this with your colleagues at your library. We will be promoting this heavily through January to get people into it and using it, and providing us with feedback about how it looks. So thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. And Michael, photo and video on forums. I was thinking about that the other day. Yes. Yeah. More questions. Thanks, Stephanie. The library has a regular library Gmail if that's easier. I think we can make that work, right, Stephanie?
No, Gmail and Microsoft are like, yeah, so we'll figure it out. No worries.
Yeah,
We'll get it all sorted.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of the afternoon. Will the presentation be on the intranet? It is being recorded right now, so we can definitely pop the recording up. You want us to zoom into one of your staff meetings and talk about it too? We can do that for 5 minutes. Absolutely. A SharePoint tutorial. All right. You guys are the best. It's been so great interacting with you. Have a great rest of the day. Take care.